All right, let's dive into the incredible story of Surya, the Hindu sun god. Now, you might just think of him as the sun up in the sky, but trust me, his story is woven right into the very fabric of our week. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? It's a name we use every single week, but the reason behind it isn't just some linguistic quirk. It's actually rooted in a deep, cosmic story that connects your calendar directly to the heavens. You see, the answer lies with this incredibly powerful God, the source of all light and life. The stories say he travels across the sky every day in a glorious golden chariot, pulled by 7 horses that shimmer with all the colors of the rainbow. Now, to really get Surya, we first have to talk about something called the Navagraha. In Hindu astrology, these aren't just planets like we think of them today. No, these are 9 celestial beings, cosmic influencers that are believed to shape the entire course of our lives right here on Earth. And here's the cool part, right? This is where your calendar clicks into place with the cosmos. The 7 days of our week are directly linked to these celestial bodies. And Sunday, or Ravivar, in Hindi literally means sun's day. It's the day dedicated to the leader of them all, Surya. So let's formally meet the star of our story. Surya is the chief of the Navagraha. In some traditions, he's seen as the creator of the universe and the actual source of life itself. He's the one who brings the light and the warmth our world absolutely depends on. And when you see depictions of him, they are just packed with symbolism. He's often shown with 4 arms, holding things like lotuses and a chakra, symbols of purity and power. He rides that golden chariot, guided by his charioteer, Aruna, who is literally the embodiment of the dawn. And of course, there are those 7 incredible horses. And get this, those 7 horses aren't just a random number. This is where the mythology gets so poetic. They represent the 7 colors of the visible light spectrum. You know, the way pure white sunlight splits into all the colors of the rainbow. It's beautiful, right? This quote really just gets to the heart of it all. He represents not just physical light, but also spiritual enlightenment and the vital energy that keeps everything alive. He's revered as this fundamental, life-giving force. So, a being this powerful, where did he even come from? Well, like a lot of great heroes, his origin story was forged in conflict. It all starts with a massive war in the heavens. Okay, so picture this. A huge dispute kicks off. The Devas, who are the gods, were granted a share of sacrificial offerings, and this did not sit well with their rivals, the Asuras, often translated as demons. This jealousy just exploded into a full-blown celestial war. And at first, things were looking really, really bad for the gods. The Devas were losing. I mean, they were driven from their home in heaven, stripped of their rightful offerings. It was a totally desperate situation. But this is where the story turns. Aditi, the mother of the gods, just couldn't stand to see her son suffering. In her grief, she began to pray like she'd never prayed before, fasting and pouring all her devotion into a call for a savior to be born. And boom, her prayers were answered. Surya was born, and his power was immediate and absolute. It's said that in the war that followed, with just a single glance, he literally incinerated the Asurian armies, restoring the Devas to their rightful place in heaven. But you know, being the literal sun isn't easy. After all the epic cosmic battles, Surya's story gets, well, it gets surprisingly human. We're talking a drama filled with intense love, unbearable pain, and a whole lot of deception. So, Surya married the goddess Samya. But there was a pretty big problem. His divine radiance, his actual burning heat, was just way too intense for her to handle. I mean, living with the sun itself turned out to be basically impossible. So what does Samjana do? She comes up with this wild plan. She creates a perfect double of herself from her own shadow, naming her Chaya. She then tells this shadow clone to take her place as Surya's wife and as a mother to their kids, all without Surya having any idea about the switch. And this deception went on for years. Surya had more children, this time with Chaya, all while thinking she was his true wife Samjna. So you end up with 2 families, one born of light and one born of shadow, with Surya completely in the dark. So how did the truth finally come out? Well, it was Chaya's own actions that gave her away. She started to favor her own kids, neglecting Samjana's. When Yama, Samjana's son, the future god of death, called her out on it, she flew into a rage and put this powerful curse on him. And that was the moment Surya knew. No true mother could ever curse her own son like that. The whole illusion just shattered. Now, after finding the real Samjana and sorting out all that family drama, Surya's story really solidifies his legacy. He's not just a character in a myth. He's a powerful symbol in astrology, representing these really fundamental forces inside all of us. So in astrology, the sun's influence is a direct reflection of Surya's character. He represents leadership and authority, our ego and sense of self, that raw strength and power, and the sheer vitality that drives us. And all this really brings us to a final thought. Here we have a story about a being of pure, blinding light who was himself deceived by a shadow. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What parts of ourselves are shining brightly for the world to see? And what parts remain hidden in the shadows, maybe even from the people we're closest to?